The alternative to that would be, well, let's say your parents said, you're never to be angry with anyone under any circumstances whatsoever, because good people never get mad. Now, lots of people believe that. Identifying aggression with evil, certainly, or at least with the kind of actions that only people they despise engage in, which generally means that their capacity for aggression is still there in a very nascent and underdeveloped form, but that they have absolutely no skills whatsoever that would be useful for integrating it into their lives. So, for example, one manifestation of the integration of aggression is, let's say that you're negotiating for a job. It's an aggressive negotiation because they want you cheap and you don't want to be taken cheaply. So if you're good at drawing on your aggressive ability, the first thing that you figure out is, well, how is it that I can say no in this negotiation and mean it, which is an aggressive act. If you want something from me and I just say no, then at minimum I'm putting up a wall that you don't get to cross. And if you're negotiating with someone and you can't do that, you lose. And then people walk all over you. And then what's going to happen to your aggression is it's going to manifest itself in resentment, which is, a very unproductive form of aggression. And then according to Freud, and I think this is a very accurate observation, that resentment is going to drive leakages of aggressive behavior everywhere. So you'll come home from the negotiation where you didn't get the salary that you deserved, and your husband or your wife will say some little niggling thing that's under most circumstances wouldn't bother anyone, and poof, there'll be a big fight, which is not very helpful, and maybe you don't even know why it happens. And that would be part of being unconsciously motivated. And this sort of thing happens all the time. It seems to especially happen with things like aggression, because if you get picked on, repeatedly during the day, each time that happens, the mechanisms will say they're the defensive aggression mechanisms that reside in the hypothalamus. They're sort of noting that you're taking dominance hierarchy blows and being pushed down the structure where it's unsafe, because you don't want to be at the bottom of the dominance hierarchy. And then that system has a proclivity more and more to grab your behavior and your perception and react as it should, because you don't want to be pushed down the dominance hierarchy. And then if enough darts have been thrown at you for that day, then someone will push you over threshold and poof, all hell will break loose. But it's very unsophisticated behavior, and it's likely to work at cross purposes to the end that could be achieved if those impulses were properly integrated into the personality. So from the Freudian perspective, the answer would never be, don't be aggressive, partly because you don't have that choice. The answer would be, if you're going to be aggressive, which you need to be because that protects you, then be sophisticated about it. And don't pretend that it isn't there. And people do that all the time. That's part of repression. Part of what Freud described as repression can more simply be conceptualized just as self-deception. You tell yourself, well, I'm not that sort of person. And the truth of the matter is, oh yes, you are. And then there's a deeper truth underneath that, which is, not only are you, but you should be.